Alright guys, so I'm here with Torreygnr1,
Hello, everyone.
and we're going to be talking about X-Men Regenesis, this whole new X-Men thing after Schism, which, actually, I read the first 2 issues, and it does not suck.
Yeah, surprisingly, for these event things lately, they haven't been too good, but this one's been pretty decent.
Yeah. Although I haven't been able to read number 3 yet, but apparently says that's when the books start. The first 2 books are good, the third one apparently sucks.
I read it and it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like amazing.
Yeah. So actually, I might get back into X-Men, and this whole Regenesis thing might be a good idea. But you want to talk the pros or cons about this book first, about this Regenesis thing?
I don't really have a lot to say in terms of like completely positives, completely negatives. I'm kind of indifferent to the whole situation. Like, I mean, I don't like the fact that Wolverine is leading an X-Men team because I never thought he could be suited as a leader, because the difference between him and Cyclops as characters is like, I always thought Cyclops was interesting because he's an emotional guy, but he can like put that aside and make rational decisions and not let his emotion play into it, whereas everything Wolverine does is governed by his emotions and what his gut feeling is. And that's not a good quality for a leader, so I never could see him as the guy leading a team.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing that stands out to me is that we got 4 X-Men titles, one called the Blue, and the other 4 titles are called Gold. So what do you think that's all about? Do you think the 4 teams are going to be sided with Cyclops and the other 4 are going to be for Wolverine, or what?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I'm looking at him now, and that's a good point. Maybe. I mean, I find it kind of strange that, X-Force would be siding... Well, actually, because Wolverine was on X-Force.
Yeah. And for the most part, Psylocke and Fathom X are some of Wolverine's closest friends.
Yeah.
Although you can't really count Deadpool because he hates Deadpool, so...
No one seems to like Deadpool.
Even I don't like Deadpool anymore, unless it's like old 90s Deadpool or Cable and Deadpool. That's about it. And when it's not Daniel Way writing Deadpool.
Yeah, that's generally a good rule for anything, though. When Daniel Way's not on the book, it'll at least be a little bit better.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of X-Men titles. Do you really think it's about 8 books? And let's not forget, actually 9. There's actually 9 books because Greg Pak's going to be on Astonishing X-Men.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. They had the teaser with Cyclops and Storm making out, and Storm got her 90s costume back.
Yeah. 9 X-Men books. Even, I know the X-Men universe is really big, but this seems a little much, don't you think?
I think it does seem a little much, but I like the fact that just by seeing these teasers that they're trying to diversify all the teams. So like before, Wolverine was on pretty much every team, and it looks like if these teasers are any indication of what the team will be, at least going forward, Wolverine's only on one team, which I like. I mean, I like the fact that we're not getting duplicate characters on different X-Men teams.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, that's a first for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I like that idea too, because it's kind of like back in the 90s they did that with all the X-Men books. Like, I think it was, I don't remember what the title was called, but it was like one of the teams was led by Storm, and then there was the main one was Cyclops leading the team. And I like that idea. I always liked the idea of having different leaders and stuff.
Yeah. I think that's actually what you're referring to as the 90s X-Men, where it was in Uncanny, Storm was leading the X-Men, while in just the regular X-Men title, Cyclops was leading. Yeah,
that's what I must be thinking of.
But yeah, for the first time ever, I want to talk about the blots before we move on to anything else. The blots is that, for the first time, I can't make out hardly anyone. Except unless you're looking at the X-Force title. You can pretty much pick out everyone there.
Yeah, that one's not too hard.
But yeah, I can't make out anyone, but like you were telling me before, I think that's Magneto on Uncanny X-Men's team, on Emma Frost's team.
Mm-hmm.
That could be I don't know. You think he's still going to be? For those who don't know, during the Fear Itself tie-in with Uncanny X-Men, Colossus put on the Juggernaut armor to stop the worthy empowered Juggernaut.
Yeah, he got like the gem that gives Juggernaut his power or whatever.
The gem of Sidorak.
Yeah.
So you think he might? You think that could be the Juggernaut, or do you think that could be still Colossus?
I think it's probably Colossus. I mean, that was Gillen's idea, and he's writing this book still, so I have a feeling that idea will carry over into this one, and Colossus will join that team as the new Juggernaut.
Yeah. I can't really make out anyone else on Emma's team. Good luck with Jubilees. I can't make out a single freaking one.
Yeah, me either. I think the thing with some of them is, like, looking at the Wolverine one, like, I think half the reason I can't tell who anyone is because of the art.
Yeah. But yeah, we're not bashing the idea. It just seems a little excessive, and some of these characters, it's 8 books now. Well, actually, no. Assuming Astonishing X-Men's gonna, because Greg Pak did say that Astonishing X-Men's going to be in canon.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is weird because Warren Ellis wanted to keep Astonishing out of continuity with the rest of the X-Men title. So, 9 X-Men books now. That seems a bit much, but that's really going to be hard to pull off. I mean, look at when we had about 10 Spider-Man titles back in the 90s.
Oh, those were the bad days.
Yeah, but God, was Mark Bagley and Todd McFarlane's artwork worth it?
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I can't tell anyone. Any books you want to pick up out of any of them if you want to get back into X-Men, because I think you as well, the same as much as me, is we've been kind of out of X-Men, and a lot of the other friends and our friends and subscribers have been out of touch with X-Men as of late, thanks to Fraction.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what Fraction was doing with Cyclops' character in his run, but that was about it. I mean, like, it wasn't like my favorite thing I would pick up every week. I mean, I'm definitely going to pick up Uncanny because I like Cyclops, and I love Colossus, I like Magneto, I like Emma. So, and Gillen has been killing it supposedly on Uncanny before. I haven't been reading it, but I'm definitely going to pick that up just because of that stuff. I'm going to pick up Wolverine the X-Men solely because of Jason Aaron. I love pretty much everything I've read that he's done.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to pick up X-Force because Nightcrawler is on the team, and he's my favorite X-Men character. So
yeah.
Those are the 3 books I'm probably going to be picking up. I'd like to pick up X-Factor, but I just haven't read any of Peter David's stuff, and he's been doing it for so long, I feel like I wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Although it is interesting that he chose to go back with the original 90s X-Factor group. Because now that Havoc's back, it's like pretty much the same team that was there back in the, I want to say, early 80s, late to the 90s.
Yeah, that was the team when he was given the book, wasn't it?
I can't remember. I seriously can't, but I don't know. Do you think they're all going to be all interlocking books, or do you think they're all going to have their own separate thing? Because that's what I've always wanted for the most part with X-Men books, like each team having their own thing, doing their own thing, rather than you have to you have to read Wolverine the X-Men, and then you got to move on to Uncanny X-Force to see what happens next.
I think it'll be more their own thing now, because not a lot of the characters seem to be interlapping, so it'll be more of and especially now that they're all split up, and as you suggested, if they're all factionized, all the blue books are with Cyclops and all the yellow ones are with Wolverine, I think you might get some little connections, a character might pop up here and there, but I think they're pretty much going to do their own thing, because you don't have characters crossing over and stuff like it was before, Cyclops, Wolverine, and Emma were pretty much in every book, but now that's not the case, so
yeah.
I have a feeling they might be more isolated, but obviously they're going to do X-Men crossovers eventually, because that's what, the X-Line, they love to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The other thing, I'm actually going to make a bit of a guess at who might be on Wolverine's team. I'm going to say Kitty might be on the team.
Yeah, I was going to mention her before. I have a feeling they're going to do that too, and it's going to be a drama thing that Jason Aaron and Gillen will play with. You know, the relationship between Kitty and Colossus, because I haven't read the issue, but someone. I think I was listening to iFanboy's podcast when they were talking about that issue, and they were saying that, you know, Kitty was totally against the idea of Colossus, you know, putting the Juggernaut costume on, and he did it anyway. So that might be something that, you know, they'll play with as well. And I expected Kitty to go to Wolverine's team because they've always been so close.
Yeah. I was actually surprised to have, if this is going to be like the blue-yellow thing's going to be separating, I'm surprised Jubilee didn't go with Wolverine.
Yeah, me too. That's interesting. Hopefully that will get brought to light, but I'm not reading that book because, you know, all the Victor Gischler stuff I've read on that book I haven't liked at all, so.
Yeah. And I don't know, is Jubilee still a vampire?
I don't think so. She doesn't look like it here, but she may still be a vampire now, and maybe that will get resolved as, you know, Gischler writes more on this book, because he came off of it for Yost to write a little story arc that I read, and now he's back on it. I don't know if that's changed or anything, but
who knows?
Yeah. Maybe she'll stay a vampire and just be I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's Gambit. I'm looking at another picture on X-Men Legacy. I think that might be Gambit in one of the pictures on Rogue's team.
That would be cool. Hopefully, Gambit and Rogue will rekindle their relationship. Yeah. Although I heard somewhere that they had Rogue and Magneto starting something again.
Yeah, which has always been the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
It is creepy. Like, even when I was reading Age of Apocalypse, I was like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, even though the characters were, like, alternate universe, you know, versions of them and stuff, Magneto is really old, and she's not that old.
Yeah. Although they did say, I think, if I remember right, in the Age of Apocalypse Magneto, he was supposed to be, like, in his 30s? Like, he's about 32.
Oh, okay.
But she was, like, what? She was 22, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's not as bad, but...
Right now, in the 616 universe, yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, me personally, I don't know what books I want to pick up. I'm half and half on Wolverine the X-Men, because I'm sorry guys, I'm still, you know, I'm kind of tired of the Marvel events and all that, but I don't know, maybe if I hear good things, I might give some of the books a shot. Definitely I want to check out what they want to do with Generation Hope, because Sebastian Shaw is on the team.
Yeah, that looks like a cool idea. I think he might serve the role as kind of like the... I mean, because Hope is obviously going to be one of the, you know, leaders and frontrunners of the team. I think Shaw will, you know, be like almost like the surrogate father of the group, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I heard somewhere that he's the father of one of the Generation Hope team members.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he's Pixie's father, I heard, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about Sebastian Shaw.
Yeah, we'll have to Montel Williams that shit.
Oh, okay.
Kudos to anyone who gets that reference. But yeah, I've pretty much said my piece. You got any last words? Because we're kind of running down on time.
I don't think so. I mean, the only thing I can think of is this line seems to be moving more towards a 90s kind of thing. Like, this looks like the same kind of strategy that Marvel was doing with the X-Men in the 90s, and I like the idea of having the different teams and stuff with different people on them, but it's like, you know, you've got Age of Apocalypse people coming into the picture now, and everyone looks like all the art looks like it's, you know, all anatomically